After a false start to come up to the second floor, we are now on the second floor in front of this wonderful fireplace. We're in the Ingle Nook here.
Ingle Nook?
Yeah, cozy place by the fireside.
There you go. And shoot back.
Back in there is overlooking the Grand Bordeaux tasting, and we just decided that it was a little too noisy there, so we didn't take our video.
Just a few.
There you go.
There are actually more in the bag too. Yeah, Jack was very good about getting those for me. Very good.
You want to go first, John?
I don't know. This was one of my best. We didn't taste a bad wine. The one that was our least favorite roll was Chateau Pez.
Because
it tasted like an outhouse.
And why?
Yeah, it definitely had a nice fecal and urinal pee, old pee.
Well, I don't know, because I've never had the experience of tasting that stuff, so David spent way too much time hanging around outhouses and urinals, I guess, but they were absolutely fabulous wines. I think the 2008 vintage was spectacular. The Sauternes were world class, as far as I'm concerned. And 2 thumbs up. And 2 toes up.
Well, for me, I had a great time. Thank you guys for inviting me. It was really awesome. One of the best things that I had here that I've never had before was actually being able to taste Sauternes, and as many Sauternes as I was able to get. So I think there were 10 Sauternes, and I was able to taste them side by side. And the Chateau Soudereau was definitely my favorite, followed by the Chateau La Tour Blanc, and the Chateau Clemens was also very good. And they're all just excellent. So really good stuff.
And I'd say for me, the Pomerol were my favorite communes. I think Saint Emilion was my second, which is interesting since they're both more Merlot and less of the Cab. But we had some interesting. John, you have the notes. John was the official record keeper of what we thought was the blends and what we thought were the best. I officially took photographs of all the labels. Jim officially tasted all the Sauternes at least once, maybe twice.
Yes, I did.
And thank you yet again for James Provence not showing up today, allowing one of our good friends and John's relative, Jim Kidwell, to be able to come and taste in his stead. Jim, again, you suck for not. You missed an awesome, probably it would have been your best tasting of your lifetime.
Mm-hmm. It was excellent. At
least so far. I thought so. I thought it was excellent. Definitely thought for the majority that the Bordeaux's, the official Bordeaux's, not just a quote unquote Bordeaux blend, they were definitely more New World, as Jim and I both concurred. A little bit more like Napa Valley and a little less like a typical Bordeaux. A little bit more approachable as a young wine. These were all 2008s. And with just a few exceptions that with heavier tannins and such that we thought needed some more time to lay down. John's comment definitely was that quite a few of these reminded him of Rubicon, and I'd have to agree with that. And John's right now flipping through his notes and finding what some of the wines he felt were the best. So let's switch over to John. John, in the newsroom.
Really, I think my favorite communes were Pomerol and Palac, and my favorite was Lynch Bages, B-A-G-E-S. I'm probably mixing it up, but it was 75% Cabernet Sauvignon, 10% Cabernet Franc, and 15% Merlot.
What was the region?
That was Palac.
Okay.
And David's favorite, and I splitting fine hairs, but Pomerol was very nice. And David's favorite early on, while his palate was still virgin-esque, was Chateau La Castellante. I wrote down wonderful wine, 86% Merlot, 14% Cabernet Franc. And I thought that was exquisite. What I thought was really remarkable is the different percentages of the blends. You went to some of these, and the primary blend was Merlot, and then you go to others, and the primary blend was Cabernet Sauvignon mixed with a little bit of Merlot and a lot more Cabernet Franc. But I think actually what I really enjoyed the most, since I just opened up one last night, was the Sauternes. Having that vertical 2008 tasting of 10 different, all of them, if memory serves me correctly, our first growth, were spectacular. My favorite was Chateau Sudereau, and I think my second favorite was La Tour Blanche, and I love this Clemens, but they're all spectacular. So anyway, I'm glad Jim was able to break away and come. And just to show you what we get, we have this nice little book of all the different wines that we tasted, so I can go back and do a little bit more research and figure out which ones I want to go on WineBid and buy for a very reasonable price. Thank you very much.
So Jim, I could go back and Jim Provence. I could go back and get you one of those books, but I won't.
They're all gone.
I think they pretty much were all gone. We picked them up as we left because we didn't want to be hanging around holding those in our hand. I do concur with Mr. Hannon that the Sudereau, La Tour Blanche, La Tour Blanche and Clemens in that order were just spectacular. The rest of them very good as well. So again, another. Yeah, I think this has been my favorite tasting, with the Bordeaux as a second. Definitely.
No, you meant the Burgundy.
Bordeaux. Maybe
this is Bordeaux.
What made this was my first and second in the Burgundy. Oh well, we'll fix that. This was my favorite, with the Burgundy being my second. The Burgundy, not last week, but last year, yes. Because probably a lot to do with the fact that we got to do that wonderful class beforehand, a whole hour seminar on the regions of Burgundy and the differences and so forth. So that was very fun. Terroir. Yes, it was all about terroir.
I'm going to introduce Jim to Maxfield's.
I have a few minutes before I have to go run and catch a plane.
Yeah, tastes a nice single malt whiskey. So, or cognac, whatever you want. Anyway.
Maybe an Armagnac.
Armagnac,
thank you.
So long, farewell. I'll be saying goodbye.
It's hard to say when you're boo. Yeah, maybe I'll have an Armagnac. I do love the Armagnacs.
Bye.
You're literally about. I was saying I was going to go on Facebook here in about 2 hours and post my pictures. I'm looking at the picture I took earlier. Here's one I took.
Let's take a picture of that.
Here's what it looked like beforehand. It'll look a lot nicer. And then I took one on.
I could adjust for the lighting later.
Too dark?
It's very dark.
And this was, I got on my knees and took one all the way down the table looking at all the bottles.
It's nice. It's cool. I like putting that in a video. Put it in a slideshow.
JK.